Good morning. Vlogging from bed. I've only been awake for about 5 minutes. Only got up to get my camera and opened my blinds a little so there's some kind of light in here. I got Wiley with me right here. Here's Wiley. This is how I go to sleep. Look at my hair above my head. This is what I do with my hair when I go to bed. Look at that. I just flip it up behind the pillow, between the pillow and the wall, and it'll more or less stay there. But it's probably messy, so it's going to be messy when I get up. You know, I do not get sticky, uppy, like Super Saiyan bed hair. Kind of jelly of people that do, because that hair's funny. My mom gets the funniest hair after going to bed, and when she takes a shower. She comes out of the shower, her hair looks hilarious because it just sticks out in all directions. My mom looks like Goku when she comes out of the shower. Anyway, I want to talk about this weekend and what happened. Because I think I know why Sunday was so bad. And it was more than just messing up and deleting that one file off my camera. Because I deleted my choir video before I put it on my computer. You know, I did it by accident. I was deleting other videos because I was trying to make a vlog. And I had some false starts and I started over. And then I went and deleted the files before it. And I accidentally deleted the choir video. Because on my little Sony bloggy, you just get a little tiny thumbnail. And the thumbnails for the false start videos had no clear picture to it. Because, you know, sometimes I'll put my hand over the camera when I start it. You know, I'll do like this just to check the lighting. And, you know, because if I feel like if I can see some of the detail in my hand, then the lighting is okay. But my choir video had a picture kind of like that too, so it got deleted by accident, and I was just so pissed. But Saturday, my routine got thrown completely off because the handyman came over to fix the thing on the roof. You know, the video where I made the storm damage video. I don't know if I'm making sense, but the video where it's shot out of my kitchen window that's showing a part of the roof hanging down, he came and he fixed that. But Saturday is when my mom and I usually go grocery shopping. And we usually go anywhere between like 12 and 2 o'clock, and we didn't go until almost 4. So I had like no sense of when we were going to leave, so you know, every time I'd hear a pause in the hammering, I'd start to get up and then it would start again. So it was like I could not just pass the time by doing something because I was stuck in a transition mode of be ready to jump up and go at any time. And that's why I hate not having a time frame, because I can't focus on anything else because I'm afraid if I do, I'll get interrupted, and that's just as bad. You know, interrupting me when I'm deep in thought or deep in hyperfocus, that's just a meltdown waiting to happen. So being stuck in a waiting mode, like an airplane circling, you know, waiting to land, I just started going into meltdowns because my brain was going, this is not right, routine broken. So I was having meltdowns for 4 hours. And then on Sunday, you know, well, Saturday night, finally got the grocery shopping done, blah blah, all that stuff, ate dinner, took a shower, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was so wired up and angry and stuff like that. And sorry, my eyes are just really crusty and gross. You got something in your eye right there. Sorry, that was a Doctor Who Sleep No More reference. But anyway, yeah, that's what I do. That's how I ukulele in real life. I just randomly make references like that. But anyway, so, you know, I didn't go to sleep very easily. I was awake until like 1, 2 in the morning on between Saturday and Sunday because I couldn't calm down to go to sleep. And sorry, my arm just did a hypnic jerk while I'm awake because I like very split second almost fell asleep. But anyway. But So I went to bed, and I didn't sleep so well, and Sunday morning I wake up early. I have to get up early because I go to church, and the choir has to be there to warm up and practice, and then we go into church. So I got up at like 7:15. I have an alarm clock named Dad, okay? So, I got up, I went to choir and all that, and I was fine until I accidentally deleted the video file of my choir video that day. I came home, tried to make some vlogs, and I screwed up, and I was trying to delete the videos before the vlog, and I accidentally deleted the choir video with it. And I didn't realize it till I sat down and hooked my camera up and only saw one video. And I just started cussing and yelling, and I hit myself in the face. I did a face palm like this, but that started a SIB cycle, and I was over and over, I was doing it, and I jerked my hand down, and I started hitting my legs. And my other hand, I tried to grab because I was hitting with my left hand, so I tried to grab it with my right hand. But I just started hitting that arm instead. SIB is a pain in the butt. Because when it starts, it's like, I know what my body is doing and I can't make it stop. I can only just change the direction. Like I don't know if I mentioned that in the other video or not, but so I just directed it all down to my legs. And I was stuck saying like really, really, really vulgar swear words. I'm not going to repeat what I said. But it was a lot of F word. And I was calling myself the C word. C-U-N-T. That word. The bad word for a vagina. Okay? But, I was calling myself that. I was calling myself all kinds of names. I was so angry. And having a meltdown when I'm angry, it's still not a temper tantrum. It was, the anger just took over my body, and I was tired on top of it. And that turned into a meltdown. And that went on for 4 hours. And I stayed in my room as much as possible because I knew that as soon as I saw another person's face, I would go off. So I didn't want to look at my parents, I didn't want to talk to them. And the TV, the sound of voices on the TV in the living room was even making me angrier. So I closed my door. And of course my dad, typical dad, he's dinging his dang bell for me to come, and just to tell me something. And it's like, I don't care. That bell is supposed to be to tell me when he needs something, like I need another Gatorade or I need water or something like that. But he'll ding it and call me in there just to see something on TV or tell him something. And he dinged the bell, and I went in his room, and I didn't even disguise the fact that I was in a bad way. And of course he tried to make it all about him. He tried to make it like I was being a bad guy to him for having an emotion that I had no control of, when it wasn't even about him. He said, "Are you angry at me?" "No, who are you angry at?" I said, Me. I'm angry at me, so tell me what you gotta tell me so I can get away from you, because I don't want to have a fight. I told him exactly what I was doing and why, and he still tried to play it out that it was an affront to him. That's typical of my dad. That's what he's always done, so I expected that. But when I am that angry, I cannot control myself and just walk away. I just had him tell me what he had to say, and then I just left. I didn't even really converse with him. I just said, I can't deal with people. I don't want back in my room. And later he tried to guilt trip me again, and I had almost calmed down, and he just wired me back up again. And I just didn't even talk to him, beyond like, okay, yeah, okay, sure. And when he shut the door, I threw my pillow at my door, and I started hitting myself again. And I started crying, and I just laid down on the floor. It was freezing cold. I took all my clothes off and I laid down on the floor. Because I figured if I was so cold that all I wanted to do was curl up, I wouldn't hurt myself. Because it was really, really cold in my room. So I'm naked on the floor. Just picture this, naked on the floor, shivering. And my muscles are all tense from the shivering, so I can't really move. I can't really move to hit myself too much, because I'm so busy just being all clenched up tight. Because when I get really cold, I shiver, but my muscles will clench. so much that I almost can't move, or if I do move, it's in a very jerky fashion. So I got through it like that, but it was a meltdown where I was to the point of being so tired that I couldn't hit myself, because I got my clothes back on, once I figured it had passed, and it started again. It's like if I tried to be still, I was in pain, and if I tried to move, I got angry. So I sat down in my chair, and I just sat there and I stared at the ceiling. And, a meltdown, it's not a behavior, it's a feeling for me. And the behavior is just the response to that feeling. So it felt like I'd been struck by lightning, and I couldn't release the lightning that had been, thrust into my body by the meltdown. So it's painful. It's like pressure. It's like all of my bones are expanding and pushing my muscles out of the way. And it feels like they're going to burst out of my skin. And it's like the sharp, fast movements that I make during a meltdown, even if it's just to stop my feet. It's like it keeps my bones from getting through my skin and exploding and all that stuff. That feeling of pressure, it's like my bones are expanding. And I was too tired to move, so I just laid there, and I'm like, God, please, if I'm going to die, just do it. Because it feels like dying. When I have a meltdown, it feels like I'm dying. It just feels like my entire body is just going to be in pain and go numb, and that's it. I'll see the bright light and bye-bye. But that didn't happen, but I was wishing for it. At that point, I actually wanted to die because I was having a meltdown, and I could not, do the things I do that help me get through it, because I was so tired that I couldn't move anymore. It wasn't a shutdown. A shutdown is different. A shutdown is I can't move when I want to. A meltdown is I have to move. And if I can't, it's a lot worse. I was so tired I couldn't even scream. I couldn't even cry. So I just laid there in my chair. I was laying across my chair. Because I was sitting with my legs kind of stretched out in front of me on the floor, and I was tilted back, so my butt was on the very edge of the chair. And so it was kind of more like laying on the chair than sitting on it. And I had the back of my head like wedged against the backing of my chair, and I was just staring at the ceiling. And I was just begging God to take me. That's what it was like. That's what a meltdown is like. When you're so tired that you can't have the meltdown. There's the feeling of it, and the action is the having of it, I guess. Because the action is like it's like the nuclear reactor melting through the floor, all the... But it's almost like I had melted through Earth's core. I just melted into the core of the planet and was still going. And I finally got up the wherewithal to get up and go to the bathroom and go to bed. And I proceeded to sleep for about 9.5 hours. But I'm not having that feeling in my body now that I'm awake now. I've been up for, I don't know when I started this vlog, how long ago. But I got Wiley with me. But I was in a meltdown when I went to sleep. And I don't know if I'm still in it or not yet. But I'll know when I start talking to other people. I'll know then. So that's kind of the sucky side of it. And by the way, if you're hearing beeping and like clinking noises, that is the Star Trek Deep Space Nine ambient sound thingy on my computer, because I went to sleep with it on. Because I didn't want it to be quiet in here. Because if it got silent, I'd probably freaked out too, so. And it's the sound of Quark's bar from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It's kind of like a bar and a casino and a restaurant, so it's not all just for drinking. But it just kind of made me feel like Odo might walk in anytime and be like, okay, Cindy, let's go. Let's get you back to your quarters now. Come on. Odo is my absolute favorite Star Trek character. Out of all of Star Trek, it's Odo. My jelly donut. Because his true form is liquid, so he's a jelly donut. But he looks like a humanoid. And he looks the way he does because he can't quite get the humanoid form perfect. So, anyway, Odo is my baby, and I love him. And I ship Akira. Yeah. And they're canon. Ooh. So anyway, good morning. Hopefully today will be better than Saturday and Sunday.